with Bitcoin grabbing the lower side liquidity right now, the funding rates being below neutral, and of course the short side liquidity being built up above us right now around to 120,000 US dollars, I think of course the next move on Bitcoin is very easy to predict. Of course, I opened up a $10 million Bitcoin long trade along the way down here on this correction, because ever since the top side I said Bitcoin is going to come down towards $109,000. That was exactly the bottom, a few dollars off only, and now Bitcoin is starting to see a slight little bounce there. And on today's update video, I want to be telling you where I am going to be taking my profits on my major Bitcoin trades I currently have open. I am going to tell you, of course, about what exactly happened, what is likely to be happening next year on the market, and of course, I'm going to be talking about the $2,000 giveaway, which I of course already paid here, and I want to be discussing if we potentially could do another giveaway if we are going to be hitting our take profit target on our trades here. So guys, an interesting video is of course up and coming. Of course, I will not only talk about Bitcoin, but also talk about a lot of interesting charts on Ethereum. Don't forget to once again slap off that like button back above 1,000 likes, because that will be highly appreciated. And let me jump straight away in towards today's update video. So of course, on all the previous videos, I talked about how I was expecting Bitcoin was going to come down towards that 110 to about 109,000 US dollar level. I, of course, set up my long orders over there. And I set up 4 long orders on Bitcoin, and now 3 of them are in a profit, and 1 of them is still in a slight little loss here. But of course, 1 is in $66,000 in profit, 1 is in $23,000 in profit, the other one in $4,000, and this one is only in $8,000 in loss here. So under the line, I'm making about 100k in profit already right now here, but I want to be, of course, talk about the strategy behind these trades right now here, because I mentioned many times before that I don't think Bitcoin is going to be bottoming before we see a liquidity grab. Most people thought Bitcoin was bottomed over here, but of course I said I still think we're going to grab the lower side liquidity, since there was a lot of liquidity being built up below us. And of course, this is how usually Bitcoin structures tend to be bottoming, like you can see of course here back in June, like you can see here of course back in April. This is usually how Bitcoin tends to be bottoming, and of course this level I was talking about was also corresponding with this major level of previous resistance in the market that I was expecting is going to be providing at least some big support for Bitcoin. And on top of that, right now we are seeing that we have created obviously a major CME gap on the market. And of course, like I discussed in yesterday's video and the video before as well, like from the last 20 to 30 weekends we had here, within a matter of weeks, we always filled up these CME gaps. So I won't be surprised that this is going to be the case yet again for the Bitcoin price action. So we're creating a major CME gap on $117,000, and I think that ultimately we are going to be filling up this gap here. And yes, whenever we're going to be doing so, I will be starting to deleverage some of my trades already, but of course more about that later in this video. But of course, if you are interested in taking these trades, just like I am of course doing as well here, guys, if you're like me, have these big orders like this $10 million trade I am currently taking on Bitcoin, the best trade to trade on is definitely the WEX exchange, where I'm also trading on. Why am I trading over here? Is because if you sign up an account using that first link in today's video description, you will get a 25% fee rebate, which is making this by far the cheapest exchange to operate on from all the exchanges out there. So if you need an exchange that doesn't ask you to pay a lot of fees, make sure to check out WEX in the link description of today's video. And on top of that, if you sign up an account using that link below, guys, you can get deposit bonuses up to $30,000. And if you maybe don't have a lot of funds here, guys, if you bind your phone number and email, you will already get a free $10 to $100 coupon here. So there is a very interesting campaign for everyone out there, so make sure to check it out in the link description of today's video, because yeah, this is definitely the best exchange to be trading on. Then of course, we exactly predicted the Jackson Hole speech here. First of all, I said, of course, I'm expecting a big pump and then a dump is going to happen. And of course, what exactly happened? We first of all saw a big pump and then a dump on the market. And of course, what I said after is now I think the bottom is going to get formed here. And that is, of course, so far exactly what is also playing out right now here. So it is perfectly playing out again here. And just like I mentioned also on yesterday's video, guys, by the way, what I mentioned also in yesterday's video, I don't think it's going to be different this time around here, because right now we're once again, of course, grab the lower side liquidity, but where is the liquidity right now being built up? Around the $120,000 level, which is of course trading above us. So what am I expecting is going to be happening? I am expecting we are going to ultimately grab this liquidity on the top side. So that is why I'm of course also holding my trades open, because Bitcoin 9 out of the 10 times always follows the liquidity. And of course, with the funding rates right now remaining below neutral, I think it is actually more than likely to expecting we are still going to see the squeeze towards the upside. And also, this is the case for Ethereum. Of course, I'm going to do a deep dive in towards Ethereum later in this video, but the funding rates are still negative, which means the market is not overextended. It basically means that, of course, most of the traders are still shorting, and if that is usually the case, we do have more steam towards the upside. So super excited for that here. Obviously as well, Bitcoin is right now exactly bounced from that moving average I also discussed on yesterday's video, obviously. And of course, I want to discuss the fact that also on the 12-hour time frame, this was previous major support for Bitcoin, now getting retested as resistance. And of course, this is going to be one of the most critical levels to be looking at, because if Bitcoin can break above this level, I think the big continuation towards the upside is likely going to be happening. And of course, right now on the imminent short term as well, I talked about this scenario already on yesterday's video. We are right now confirming a bullish divergence on the 12-hour time frame, where we're obviously creating a lower low on the price action and a higher low on the RSI, which means that we are most likely going to be seeing a shift in momentum getting created. So super excited for that. Bitcoin also on the weekly time frame, holding on towards the legendary parabolica trend line. And of course, where I want to be taking profits on these trades, guys, I of course have 4 trades open since I was leveraging in towards my positions. I was pyramiding in towards my positions. And to give you guys a quick update, what I will be doing, if we're going to be filling up the CME gap here, I will be taking a profit on my first trade here, which is of course the highest one. So I will be locking in the least amount of profit. So this trade, I will be closing the closest one right here. And after that, I'm going to be reevaluating. I don't think Bitcoin is going to be running so much higher. Of course, ultimately, I think 137,000 is the ultimate target for Bitcoin. But of course, if we do hit the target, I'm going to be reevaluating. I will at least close 1/4 of my positions to, of course, lock in the profit. And then, of course, ultimately, I will be closing another 25% around this resistance, around the $122,000 level. So, yeah, that is the plan, at least for me right now here. But of course, I will keep you guys up to date every single time on YouTube, but also in the private Telegram group here. Of course, if you've been in the group, unfortunately, yesterday and the day before, I had a lot of stuff going on here, so I haven't been so active, but starting today, I will become, of course, more active again here in the group. I mean, sometimes I'm also busy. I don't have a lot of time to be in the group, but of course, guys, there are still 5 other professional traders as well here, and a big community of more than 500 of you guys out there who are debating, sharing trading setups, etc., etc. So make sure to join the private Telegram group here if you want to be staying up to date, obviously, on the trade, where I will be taking my profit. Make sure to join it right now here. It's very simple. It's the second link in today's video description. And it's, of course, extremely valuable here. So make sure to join it. And, of course, going even deeper in towards the content, yesterday, once again, we also start to see big inflows return towards the Ethereum ETF here. And if we're just going to compare the ETH towards Bitcoin ETFs, guys, yeah, Ethereum is closing in rapidly of holding a similar supply compared towards the Bitcoin ETF here. And, of course, ultimately, I do think this is going to be happening. But Ethereum, like we mentioned, we had this major pump over the course of the weekend. We filled up the gap. Ever since we did so, boom, we shot up back towards the upside. So Ethereum doing an absolutely incredible job, obviously. And honestly, I think it remains to be very strong here. And with a lot of liquidations, over $6 billion laying above us, I still think we are going to be running higher. Of course, we bounced from off the daily support line. On the weekly time frame, we're just struggling against the previous all-time high. But this is more than normal to be seeing. And of course, just like every single previous bull market, it is exactly playing out here. The end stage of the cycle, Ethereum is stronger. And we are once again seeing, compared to the previous all-time highs as well here, and compared to the previous bull market as well here, that there's a lot of whale orders currently on Binance available. And that means that obviously, there are big players that are right now buying up this market. And of course, whenever this is going to be ending, it is most likely also ending this rally. And of course, I'm going to keep you guys up to date on this exact chart here. But for now on, I still think it is going to be quite sustainable. ETH compared to Bitcoin also still looks very strong, but we are in a parabolica. And parabolicas always end in pain here. I don't know when it is going to be ending, but when it does end, it is going to be ending in pain here. But of course, obviously, I still think we're going to be getting a run on all the other valuations except Ethereum and Bitcoin, obviously, because right now, if you're also going to compare it towards the total tree chart, which is the chart excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, you can see that, of course, the last time we were so oversold and we had this rally on Ethereum, that actually marked also the beginning of the rally in towards the entire altcoin market. And of course, I think something similar is yet again expected, since of course this chart clearly shows us we are oversold. Ethereum is overextended compared to other altcoins, and other altcoins are going to be overtaking Ethereum in the next phase of this cycle. So super excited. And for example, I see a very big trading setup also on Chainlink right now here on the monthly time frame, just like we had on Ethereum. So I won't be surprised to see this run up to $36, maybe $50 in the next coming month here. So super excited. And guys, this was it already for me on today's update video. Obviously, make sure to join the private Telegram group to stay up to date on the trades I currently have open. Obviously, as well, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because yes, guys, I will be doing another giveaway if I will be locking in the profits on these trades here, because then, yeah, we made another million, so we have to do some giveaways here. So guys, anyways, this was it for me in today's update video. If you did enjoy, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, slap on that like button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.